Hello guys, this is Anna. I am going to record what happened in the afternoon. I know that you guys are kind of wanted to know, what's going on in the market and what I'm looking at. So I wanted to look at possible support resistance in here. Let me hide this floating median control. I normally have this on bigger um, screens. I have four of them that shows there. That way I can really see them. Um, and the thing about this is that besides support and resistance, I need you to draw your trend line. So what trend line means is that from earlier on. So let's look at that because I think that's important. So let's start with RTY first. And we're going to look at RTY for this. So you can see better, from my version of perspective, I am using 15 minutes time frame of every time. So how you draw your trend line is that this low, okay, this low is connecting to that low right there. All right. So that means like this is violating or dropped here. It could drop it any further than here, but it cannot really violating that. Then if it is, then definitely it would short. Okay. So this looks like, if you put this all together, this is really look like it's going to be a big W in the bigger time frame version. So if you put this together, look at that. So we have an M pattern from here to here, and this is like a W pattern that's forming. So you have these here, and let me change that. It's a 1.0 right now. If I change that to 1.5, at any time, this here, let me cancel that, we'll remove the drawing, whatever. So this trend line here, all right, it violated. Okay, that's fine. I can even move that further down towards here. Oh, sorry. Activate drawing. Let me see if I can fix that and change that to here. And have that farther down right there, because that's the low. So, okay, RTY close at 21.28 for today. So the problem is that we cannot go below the 28. That means like this would continue lower. It can actually retrace here. All right, and this is a possible support as well at 108. But until I don't get violated right here, also that is still on the wedge. So what I mean is like this W here could possibly reach this high tomorrow or tonight, whatever. I'm not sure what's going to happen tonight at open, but passing the pivot, I'm aiming right here. Okay, this yesterday resistance, okay, in RTY, which is a 21.51. Now, if we go down below, this is going to be your support, 21.16. There's this S1 here, 21.13, and this possible here at 21.08. So kind of look into that perspective. You need to be watching your trend line, where it's going, and this is like an hourly. Okay, this is a bearish candle, really pushing it down like around 1 o'clock. So, but this is possible that we have continuation of going up half this way. If not, this can go further down towards here, violate that, and then we'll hit towards right on the 2082 and possibly 2071. I don't know what would happen tomorrow. That's what I'm looking at. And all I can think of is either breaking or getting this support. So this is resistance here. You can see this draw, just draw your support resistance. Okay, so there. So this is hourly, as that. is a possible resistance right there. This here, that's connected to there from the couple of days. So that's how you look at that. Okay, if we pass this line, then you have another, here would be your target to a 2161. All right, so that would be another resistance with RTY, but otherwise we are on the W. Okay, if we go below that, I'll be shorting around here below the pivots and target this low and target this low. Okay, that's RTY. That's your recap. So let's go at ES. So here I have a question. I think here I think I draw that before in the past. This trend line here from, let's see. So kind of draw that from there. That's a short from the 36 area. All right, we really got down hammer here. This is still in the wedge. We are on a W position. We are here, so we can retrace to possible to this high right here, wherever they at the 44.15, whatever this high is, 44.15 area, and you need to go back to, so here at 44.12, right? So 44.12, 44.15, that's a recent resistance, support, and now it's resistance. So they go back to the number to where they at. So now this could turn into also in an M pattern from here to here. So this little M here to downward here, it could reach the 43.88 as well. Okay, and I don't know, it could go down here to the 43.63. So start watching your support resistance kind of thing. All right, so this is on a W still. So I kind of want to watch the ES and see how they do. But they are opening above the pivots. And so, you know, they could trace the high here at 44.12, 44.16. It depends on the NASDAQ and see what happened. I feel like it's going to get hammered down. But I don't know that. What I could think of is either we pass VWAP or get below VWAP, then we are shorting and we're trying to aim the recent low or the MPD bands or something like that, whatever the low is, or whatever the low on your pivot. So your S1, S2, try to start looking at those as your target. If you never done a Fibonacci retracement, then, you know, have used that. All the platform you should have, you know, pivots on their platform. So use those if you can see any possible support resistance kind of thing. Okay, so those are the stuff that I'm looking at. But for now, this looks good to me. Okay, even though we went down here, all right, here this down to the VWAP, as long as we are above this pivot here, 43.87, I'll be aiming the recent high. Okay, otherwise, if we didn't get past here, I'll be shorting in between that, and the target is going to be here. And then if you get below that, your target would be, the best would be the S1 and then S2. That is the support on that level in ES. So look at previous support, look at previous resistance, you know, hourly. This looks good to me, you know, as long as they don't lose the pivots. Always short below the VWAP or right at the VWAP when you see that NASDAQ is coming down. Because it tends to that ES always follow the NASDAQ. All right. So that's that. Let's look at NQ. So here's NQ. It's all over the map. But I do like, so it looks like it's a big W to me. So here it is W here. This looks like an M pattern. But what I want to look at also is where, let me see if I can put it in. I need to do edit study, LBR, the 310 oscillator. I tend to use that and see if I can kind of work with it. So, you know, hourly looks good. You know, I wouldn't short at any time within that. If this the fast line is above the zero, I wouldn't short it. You know, I would definitely try to stay long on the pullback on here. If we go right on the pivots, then or at the VWAP, then I would go long because that looks like long to me. And until they get violated, then it's, you know, then it's short, but otherwise it's not. Okay, that's that. If this purple goes below it, then it's short. It's not what you might call it, short. So here's another thing that I always talk about also that I want everybody to know, how I look at divergence. So here's your divergence in, I know that I touched it before in the past. So here is that your indicator is going higher, and look at here. The price is still going lower, right? That means that it will change pretty soon. So that's that. So that would be like the change. You want to try to carry that and look at, all right, so I think this would be it, the bottom here, right? You get your bullish engulfing. And I said that this earlier this morning, like around 8 something, right? When we passed, it was, I don't even know, 760, 765, something like that, when I announced that we are gonna be long, and you know, try to aim for the pivots and then go along the lines on, if you've never done any Fibonacci retracement, start doing them because they are really good as far as knowing how to do them. So this is where we came down from yesterday. You want to like do, if this is this existed, so the low to high would be from here. Hold on a second. So this thing's not working properly. So here, right? This is the low, and then this is the high. Just like that. Okay, and make sure that you know your numbers. Kind of the right extension. You want to have the 618, 786, 100, 127. So it did reach below, right around there, whatever. But normally they do come down, can't come up to this, you know, 100, 786. You can trail from there, 618. And, you know, it kind of reached right up here, 32. I mean, that's still valid, you know, but that's pushing high. Like, really? I thought that they would only come up to 786, 786 retracement, and they go down. No, they pass filling the gap. So they fill the gap here, and then they continue to go higher. What can you do, right? So here's Rob's target. So you got your dots in here. He has targets right there, 972 on the hourly. You would have got that if you have Rob's also. So that's how you look at that. And also, I think here's the dot from yesterday at 11 o'clock, and then they kind of came down here. This is the target, and this is the target here. Once it passes the second line target, then they go straight down. That's just how he look at things as far as on the Rob's indicator, if you have it. So that's all I have for you. So what I'm looking at here now is that if the NASDAQ gone higher, I would aim for here, the recent high, which is here at the 992. And then, you know, next I would be targeting back to the 129. All right, that is possible. So look at here. I want you to do your support resistance. They have these lines also here. All right, kind of just do that as far as your support resistance kind of thing. All right, that is the support. Okay, so this here is another support here from down here from yesterday. So that's when they went higher, that this line here and that line there. And here is possible resistance as well. So start doing that. Okay, that's gonna continue towards here. So you wanted to do extend to the left. So we extend right there. Okay, because you want to get the high from here. So if we did pass that, then I'm aiming here to the 65 level. And then you would try to aim here. Okay, once it passes that, because this is the high from there. And you can see that also from here. See this level here at the 134 area, that is another resistance there. So watch that. 134, the 45, and then the 914 on the lows, and then the 808, and then whatever the lows is. So that's how you find out support and resistance in the NASDAQ. So kind of like continuation of looking at the lows and the high from previous days. So that's all I have for you, but this is looking good to me. If they pull back, and even they pull back here, it's fine as long as they don't go below the pivot as much, you know, that they need to like poke their head off in here and then go higher here. If not, we're in trouble. Then I would be shorting if it goes below the pivot and if it goes below the VWAP. So that's just how I look at things. As far as shorting, remember you short below the, you know, when it crosses below the VWAP, target your pivot lines, which is the S1, S2, further down S3, S4. If we go above the VWAP and it's above the pivot, target your R1 and R2 and whatever the previous highs on any indices that you play with. And, you know, it's the same thing as here. You can do your low to high like this here. You can measure this low to high on Fibonacci retracement. If you have these, this is how you do that. So here, this is the high, this is the low, whatever that low is. That means that I can go back to the pivot. This is the 618 level, and then back to 32 and then push higher. Okay, so that's just how I, if they go below the 618, that's questionable on the NASDAQ. If not, you know, if they go higher, then you just go, you know, go look at your fib retracement and your R1, R2, the 1272, the 138, the 147, the 1618. So think about these things that I'm showing you because they occur all the time. So the M pattern, the W pattern also that I showed you too many times, those are very important because I use those tons in every trading that we do. And on the breakouts and the breakdown, kind of like, you know, the top of double top, breaking higher, that is going higher. Breaking the W, all right, on the bottom, that means that's breaking that support, gonna keep going down and we'll reach those lows, the next low, wherever the lows are at. So that's all I have for you. If you have any questions, let me know, right?